Barry with possession once more, going to come from deep inside their own half of the field. Evans. This is Carter with the cross. Williams! An equaliser after 301 minutes of football against Dynamo Kiev. They finally managed to score against the Ukrainians.
Well, when I started this channel, I really wanted to cover a lot of things like match reports, like I said in my last video, it's the Wales one. That was hardly a match report, but I digress. Like football shirt content, maybe go out and do some in-person documentaries, and maybe match going content, and like I said, trading card content, football card content, as well as gaming. But sometimes I just want to do like me talk to Mike, talk to you, and tell you some insane stories. And today is probably one of the most insane story I discovered back in January. This is one of the reasons why I'm thinking about doing a football channel, actually, this story, because it hails from a place that's not far from me in Wales. It hails from Barry Island, is famous for Gavin and Stacey, and they play currently in the Cymru Premier, and they went through a lot of stuff in the early 2000s. They generally had the worst owner. That's one way to put it, that football has ever seen. Like, I'm a Cardiff fan. I can moan about Vincent Tan all I want. Bet United fans can moan about the Glazers all they want. I think Sheffield Wednesday has a very valid argument against Chancery at the time. They can probably be on par with this, to be fair. With this story, I think they can be on par with this. But this story is so insane, it deserves a full-on dedicated video. This is Stuart Lovering's ownership of Barry Town. Barry Town was formed in 1892 and it was originally named Barry and Cadoxton District Football Club. But it wasn't until 1912 they became Barry Town AFC, and they joined the Southern League. They would beat Arsenal at Highbury in the first season and play the likes of Stoke, Brentford and Coventry. Barry was successful in the Southern Leagues, winning the Welsh section in 1920-21 season. They would stay in the Southern League until the 1980s, when Barry would go into exile. After insufficient floodlighting stopped the club from being able to compete in the Southern League, Barry would play their games in Worcester, which is kind of close, but for the context of Britain, that is quite a trek, Worcester. In 1992, the League of Wales formed, and Barry Town, along with Merthyr Town, Newport County, Colwyn Bay, Bangor, Carnarvon, Newtown and Rhyl, wanted to leave the English pyramid to join the FAW. Barry was placed into the third tier of Welsh football, and they returned to Jenner Park once again, and they would climb all the way up the League of Wales ladder to the top division. And that's probably a bit of a mistake by me. Merthyr and Newport wanted to stay in England. There was something called the Irate 8, and I think 6 of them joined, 2 stayed in England. That was Merthyr Town and Newport County. Obviously Merthyr's in the National League North at the moment, and Newport are bottom of League 2, just appointing Christian Fuchs as the manager, which is just like surprising, to be honest. They would dominate Welsh football for a decade, and in the 1993-94 season, by winning the League FAW Trophy, the League Cup and the Welsh Cup against Cardiff City, with 16,000 people watching in the National Stadium. They would dominate a decade by winning 7 league titles between 1994 to 2004. They wanted to compete in Europe, and Barry would sign noteworthy players like Adebayo Akinfenwa, playing at Jenner Park, and Barry would play many huge European sides like Dynamo Kiev and famously FC Porto, who they would beat 3-1 at Jenner Park, but they were beaten 8-0 in Portugal, and I think you should see some of the clips from this.
They weren't pressing us, so it was quite a comfy game. And then with games like that, it's all about goals. Getting that. You don't score many goals in Europe. It's hard. It's the hardest thing in football to score a goal, especially in Europe for Barrytown. But I think we scored 2 goals in quick succession. I think it was me and Flynn scored. And after we scored the 2 goals, then they'd gone there in Porto. It was quite I won't say a comfy game, but it won a difficult game.
Oh, it's a great time for us. I mean, we knew we had already lost the game. They hadn't sent the big boys over like Deco, Capuccio, players like that. They played sort of the second string. I know we lost the year after, lost 8-0 out there, but we were on a rebuild as well then. We had a couple of players in that weren't the best, but we had some players there that weren't there very long then. So we, but yeah, just all a good experience for us. That's what it was for us. A good experience and a good time.
With all these good times, Barry was operating above its means. This is where it all begins. Things for Barrytown started to go wrong when they appointed John Fashanu as chairman in 2002. As a high-profile appointment, he did raise the interest in Barry as they wanted to sustain and improve the club's success. He made outlandish promises by saying that he will bring in Nigerian internationals and TV deals in China and South Africa, which is insane for the Welsh League, but okay, we'll carry on Fashanu. These were empty promises as he left the club in 2003 after appearing on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Probably the best of the years to watch the past being now John Fashanu. Did kind of chuck his brother under the bus. He left the club in a rough financial situation. He would see the club go to administration in the summer of 2003. The club was in a complete mess. They reached out a new potential owner. The professional squad was stripped for a semi-professional squad, and an interim management team came in. They went from beating the likes of Porto a few years earlier to losing to 8-0 to Carnarvon. There was hope for Barry, as Shamrock Travel owner Clayton Jones made a bid for the club. But the creditors of the club received a larger offer from a solicitor and local businessman named Stuart Lovering, which they happily accepted. Lovering would become Barry's new owner in December 2003. He promised to safeguard the club and raise the profile, and wanted to trust in him from the people and supporters. Again, these were very, very empty promises, but they went really straight. And I think going into this timeline, I think you need to mentally prepare for this, because it is insane. 2003 and 4 season was a difficult one, as Barry was fully amateur and playing against semi-professional sides like TNS and RIL. Barry's first win came in February 2004 against Welshpool Town. Barry was relegated to Welsh League Division 1, but Stuart Lovering's strange behaviour begins when he appealed to the Football Association of Wales to reinstate Barry back in the League of Wales, but understandably it was rejected. What did Lovering do after this? Well, he raised the prices of match ticket to £7, which was the highest in the whole Welsh pyramid. Lovering would also go on to sack manager Colin Addison on the eve of the new season. He replaced by his assistant David Hughes, who would leave the club only a few months later after Lovering slashed the playing budget. Yes, he slashed the playing budget. Yeah, I know, it's insane. Barry's supporters club raised and injected $4,000 into the club for them to be banned by Lovering, and stopped them using the clubhouse as a meeting place. Due to the budget being cut, long-time club director Liz Davis left the club. Lovering had a few mental suggestions. He wanted to field himself in a game against Port Talbot and wanted to build a 40,000 seater stadium and wanted to get a sponsor that can give them £20 to £30 a season. £30,000 a season. Supporters discovered that Lovering owed the Vale of Glamorgan Council rent for Jenner Park, which he refused to pay. The supporters paid £3,000 of the debt, but Lovering decided to move the club to White Tip Stadium in Treforest, which, as you can see on this map, is miles away. It's not really that far if you live in Wales, that's quite close, but it's 20 miles away from Jenner Park. Stuart Lovering then decided to sell merchandise. That seems normal for a football club, but it was very strange. He wanted to sell Barry Town themed thongs. Just imagine your partner rocks up to bed in Barry Town themed thongs. Luckily, there was no evidence that these actually sold. As I carry on, Barry averaged around 20 supporters in Treforest, and Lovering decided to slash the playing budget. Long-time club secretary David Cole resigned due to a lack of trust. Many fans decided to form a Phoenix club called Barry FC, which Lovering decided to sue the club, which obviously didn't go anywhere. 30 Barry fans attend a full meeting of the Vale of Glamorgan Council. Lovering does not attend, but preferred to flee abroad. At the meeting, it outlined that the council reached to Lovering about the finding a solution on the 11th of December. 6 weeks later, Lovering responded. The next day, the council sent another letter, but Lovering didn't respond. Barry Town fans would discover that Stuart Lovering was disbarred from practicing law. He was banned from law in September 2002, which was over a year before he bought Barry Town. The question is how this flew under the radar from the people who did check if the buyer was fit to own a football club. Barry fans are asking the exact same thing as me. Barry was allowed to return home to Jenner Park in April 2006, and Stuart Lovering instantly wanted to turn the clubhouse into a tiki bar, which was many of his brilliant ideas coming from an absolute wizard of business that is Stuart Lovering that didn't go anywhere. And then he decided, for the first of many times, to threaten to pull Barry out of the Welsh League. The 2006 and 7 season was a miserable season, with Barry being relegated to the Welsh Division 2 following a 6-1 defeat to Afan Lido. Only 12 Barry players turned up and played that game. Even crazier, Stuart Lovering called for the Welsh manager at the time, John Toshak, to call up Zach Mishba to the national squad. Bear in mind, that is the same squad that contained Craig Bellamy, Gary Speed, Robert Earnshaw, and a teenage Gareth Bale. Zach Mishba didn't even have a chance to look at that squad. Ramsey was even a year off from coming through as well. During this season, Stuart Lovering decided to put the club up for sale, but for a fee which was 2 times more than he paid. He kept turning down reasonable bids. Phil Clay becomes the one and only man to ever be appointed manager and resigned 2 days later without managing even a single game. He was just baffled by Stuart Lovering, which is understandable. And the second choice who went for the job at Barry, which was a very brave man, and that brave man has become a club legend in the modern era, was Gavin Chesterfield. And for the fans, he did one thing. He gave them hope. Gavin Chesterfield was a good manager. He worked through all the chaos and got Barry promoted back to the second division of Welsh football in the first time of Aston. Chesterfield did what many people thought. Lovering wanted the Welsh Football Association to promote Barry back to the League of Wales once again, but this time he wanted them to make him immune from relegation and pay the club about 50 grand a year. The FAW again refused this scintillating offer. In December 2008, a crisis meeting at Jzinga Park saw supporters pledge a commitment to operating the first team, eventually forming a company for this purpose. To allow Lovering to focus on finding a buyer, supporters put Love back into the club. Barry is being looked after. Jzinga Park was getting it repainted back into the Barry colours, which Lovering hated, by the way. He complained that he probably wanted some bright pink, green, knowing him. The colours don't match. And David Cole returned to the club. 2010 saw Barry nearly being sold to local businessman Clayton Jones, who had a plan to bring in John Hartson as a director of football. The deal fell through and Barry fans decided to start an online campaign named Stand Up for Barry using Twitter. And I think this got traction off the Australian Prime Minister at the time, which is like insane. The 2010-11 season, Lovering announced the fresh intent of withdrawing the first team from the higher league competition. To prevent this, the Barry Town Supporters Committee took complete control of all football and its funding, resulting in what has become known by some supporters as DIY football era. In the months of that followed, the rejuvenated fan-run Barry set up and enjoyed their most successful Welsh Cup campaign in several seasons, defeating the likes of rivals Merthyr Town at Penydarren Park, winning at Haverfordwest County at extra time, before being edged out 3-2 at Newport County. In March 2013 though, following wins against Caerleon, Penrith, Cork, Ely Rangers and Pontardawe Town, Barry won 2-0 at Flint United to progress to the Welsh Cup semi-final for the first time in a decade. Eventually the team lost narrowly 2-1 to the winners Prestatyn Town, marking the first fully amateur team to reach the Welsh Cup semi-final stage. Gavin Chesterfield became a success and a fan favourite. He embodied the fight that Barry Town had, and it passed on into the players. So it was a shock when Stuart Lovering sacked Chesterfield. Chesterfield didn't take the sacking serious though. It was just unjust. He knew it, and he turned up to work the following day to take training. He is literally a true legend for Barry Town. On May the 7th, 2013, Lovering withdrew the senior team from the Welsh Football League against the will of the Barry Town Supporters Club, players and supporters, who were ready and willing to able to fulfill the remaining 2 league fixtures. Lovering killed Barry Town. So he thought. A Phoenix club was formed named Barry Town United, but it did have pushback from the FAW, which is quite strange thinking about it. 15 of the FAW councillors voted against discussing Barry's future. With an immediate and long-term future unclear, Barry began their pre-season wins at Morton and Elmo. In that same month, Gavin Chesterfield returned as manager as soon as the fans requested. Barry Town, though, narrowly lost 3-2 to Premier League newcomers Cardiff City, watched by a home crowd of 1,600 supporters on Saturday the 27th of July 2014. Eventually, a High Court judge in Cardiff ruled in Barry's favour, stating the FAW Council had acted unlawfully in denying them their licence to play Welsh League football. As a result, a fan-run town have entered back into the league structure. Barry would enter the third tier once again of the Welsh League, quickly gain promotion to the second division. Hope was back in Barry. Barry Town was promoted to the Cymru Premier in 2019, being back in the league for the first time since 2002 and 2003. Barry managed to qualify for the Europa League on 2 occasions to the qualifying rounds. Gavin Chesterfield led Barry back to the big time. He would leave the club though eventually by joining Cardiff City as an academy manager. Lee Kendall replaced him, and all this was possible because of fans. Stuart Lovering thought he could destroy Barry Town, but the fans saved the club. And I think it's honest to say Stuart Lovering is the worst owner that football has ever seen. Thank you for watching today's video, guys. I do appreciate it because this is a new channel. Please share the video around to get people out here. More different types of content will be coming up soon. And yeah, like and subscribe. See ya.
What a turning point it was. Astonishing, remarkable, call it what you will. What can you say about a goal like this? Villain turned hero.